Hey folks, and what have I got for you today? Well, quite simply, we finally got round to doing the demo of this since the setup, this J&D Super Strat, and I have to say, for 100 quid, I'm really impressed with it, and I've really enjoyed playing it today, and I've done a few little demos, as always, with the great leveler, the Pocket Pod. So we're going to have the usual sweep of tones this morning, or today I should say. It's a beautiful sunny day out there, and I can't wait to get out in it. But first of all, I'm going to demo this guitar for you. So I bought this on your say-so literally a couple of weeks or so ago, and you chose it from the live show. Basically, we came up with about, I'm guessing it must have been a good 30 or so brands that were around $100 or less, or £100 or less, and this is the one that you chose. And actually it was the patrons and also the egg crackers that chose it, and I'm really glad you did, because this is actually a really nice guitar. And I did a setup the other day where I sorted out the nut, made sure that was all nice and lubricated. We changed the strings for a set of these legacy strings, and these are really nice. They're a set of 9 to 46s, and a big thanks again to Paul for sending me those. And we set this guitar up. I sorted out getting the bridge to float so that it's nice and floaty. We also changed the action to bring this action down to about 1 millimeter and 1.5 millimeters thereabouts. Certainly 1 millimeter on the high E at the 12th and 1.5 millimeters or just under on the low E, and it is really beautifully set up now. The funny thing was that the intonation on this was actually pretty spot on from the factory, from the distributor in Germany, which was the music store.de, who are partnered with Digital Village. So yeah, I'm really impressed with it, and I think you're going to be as well. In terms of playability, I'll tell you all about that at the end of the video. But first, let's go and have a listen to some of the tone samples that I've done for you today. And predictably, we'll start with the clean tones. So there, as you can hear, the clean tones really quite ring out very nicely. We also set the height of the pickups, and I showed you what my preference is for changing the height of the pickups the other day. So yeah, that is done, and I think perhaps they are still just a touch, just a hair too powerful, and they need to be backed off just a little hair from the strings to get them into perfect playing condition. But it sounds pretty good. It's breaking up just a touch on the clean tones, which is not quite exactly right as far as I'm concerned with my setups. But there we go. Let's go and have a listen to the crunch tones. Now the crunch tones, obviously because the pickups are that bit closer to the strings, do sound really powerful and actually closer to the lead tones than anything else. And I really enjoyed playing the crunch tones, and I was coming up with riffs galore, which is always a great sign when you pick up a new guitar. If it makes you write riffs and makes you write solos and come up with song ideas, then that's always going to be a good thing in terms of a guitar and a new guitar on you. So I'm really pleased with that. Let's go and have just a quick listen to some of the lead tones that this thing can poke out. Once again, with the pickups quite high up and in fact just needing a little bit of a back off, I have to say that I think that the lead tones actually really do sing out, and these strings, these legacy strings, I'm really impressed with them. I did see a video the other day from my buddy Dave Barlow, who about 4 years ago, maybe longer actually, I think it was 2014, and he compared them with rotor sound strings, and they are pretty much identical. So I'm pretty sure that I've tried rotor sound strings before and really enjoyed them, but the legacy strings on this, I think this is what I'm going to stick with from now on. I think in one of the next videos I'll put them on the PRS SE Custom 24, the limited edition with the blonde neck that I love so much, and we'll see how they sound in comparison to my regular D'Addario strings. I've got the same gauge, 9 to 46s, and so it'll be really interesting to see what that hybrid sound is like on the PRS SE. Let me know in the comments down below if you fancy hearing that, and of course I'll do it for you guys. I'm also going to get around really soon to doing the demo of the Sonic pedals that I was sent last Sunday, and that should be really fun. We've got an ambience pedal, we've got an acoustic guitar pedal, and we've got a bass guitar multi-effects, and I think they're going to be good fun. So that's all coming up on the channel. However, what you really want to know today is how did this guitar play, and I have to say, look at the thickness of this neck. It's just right for me. It's quite nice and thick, it's not too thick. I would say it's got a modern C-shaped profile, which sort of tapers out at the end here, which with the unfinished wooden neck, or I should say unfinished, it's actually a satin neck. It is finished, but it has been beautifully sanded and it feels great. There are no sharp frets whatsoever. There are a few high frets which we spotted in the setup of this guitar, but thankfully they're only just really marginally high, and so they don't affect the playability, and there's no fretting out or dead notes or choking anywhere along the fretboard at all. The tuners, even though they are relatively cheap and cheerful tuners, really hold tune incredibly well. I didn't have to tune at all again during the demo that I've just played you, and hopefully you felt that it stayed in tune from the clean all the way to the lead tones. And so these really do hold their tune nicely, and these strings, the legacy strings, really sing out. Now I know that's nothing to do with playability of the guitar, it's more to do with the tone, but actually they feel really nice to play as well. The access up to the top frets is really, really good on this JD Super Strat. As you can see, you can really reach up and get round to even the highest top frets there. So really pleased with that. If I had a complaint about this, I think actually the tone of the pickups is such that I've had to put them closer to the strings in order to get the right amount of power, and unfortunately that comes across as a slightly inordinate amount of power because I think they are fundamentally not voiced the way I would like. So I would probably change out the pickups on this, but for £100 guitar, that's the kind of project that perhaps you would be buying one of these for. The bridge is very, very stable. Again, I've got it floating and I used it quite a bit in that video, as you probably saw, or maybe I might have edited those bits out, but I definitely did use the whammy on the video. And this stayed in tune even using the whammy, which is incredible for £100 guitar. Love the colour of it, and as I say, it's not particularly heavy. It's about an average sort of weight. I'm going to say this is around the 6 or 7 pound mark, maybe a couple 3 kilos, and so it's relatively light. The tone and volume pots are nicely lubricated and move fairly freely. They're not stiff, but they're not overly free moving. They might be just a little bit too stiff to do the Van Halen violining on. Certainly the switch, very, very quick and very, very easy. Does make a bit of a noise when you push it down to the bridge pickup, but other than that, it's really good. The springs are not straight on the back. I know that's really annoying a lot of people. It doesn't bother me. They probably should be straight really, but when you look at how close the edge of this claw is to the cavity at the back here, I think it's probably best that I have got them going in on the angle. So playability wise, I'm going to give this perhaps a 7.5 out of 10. It's one of the better guitars at this price range that I've played. It's very nice and easy to play. So would I recommend the JD Super Strat? Well, the simple answer is yes. And definitely if you're up for a bit of a modding platform, because this looks like it could take, you know, a couple of upgrades, maybe upgrade the 2-point trem. Definitely I'm probably going to put some different pickups in this guitar, but from a playability point of view, which is the important thing, everything wooden on it is made really well and finished really nicely as well. So I'm actually very, very pleased with it. It only gets the 7.5 because I'm not particularly happy with the pickups, but actually that's probably a bit harsh because the finishing on it is lovely, the color is lovely, and the weight is really, really nice. I could see myself playing this on a strap at a live gig quite happily for a couple of hours. So there it is. I really hope that you like this because you guys chose it. I really like it, and I want to say a big thank you to everybody that was involved in choosing this and everybody that was involved in coming up with all the brands that we looked at. Maybe we'll do another one really soon if that's something you'd like. Maybe we'll do a pickup swap out on this very soon as well. Let me know, as always, in the comments down below. If you've made it this far, say in the comment section, have a JD, because obviously it's called a J&D guitar. So say have a JD in your comments and I will know you made it this far. And a big thank you to everybody who has. I really hope you've enjoyed it. As always, do all those things that the algorithm likes, a thumbs up, a subscribe. I know that your comments will be in the section below because you know how much I enjoy reading them and responding to as many as I can. Talking of the best that I can, I'll be back as soon as I can with the very best content I can. But until then, my friends, as always, you take good care.